It was a soul-crushing day at Hamilton the day after the election. We, as a company, had to have a meeting the morning after the election because it was a Wednesday. And on that Wednesday, we, like all shows on Broadway, were going to have to do 2 shows. And I had Mexican-American actors saying, "I am afraid." I had African-American actors say, "Well, now we know. They are not for us. Now we know, and let us govern ourselves accordingly." I had other actors say, "Fuck them. We are going to win through love." But I also had a costume wardrobe person crying uncontrollably, "I don't know what to do." And what was happening at our theater was happening in many places throughout Broadway and, of course, throughout the world. I mean, throughout our country. And we had to figure out, how do we get up and say, now our play is more important than ever before. And we need to tell this story. And we need to tell this story that embodies our greatest values as a country, as a community, as a democracy. And so we did that, and we got on with the work. And several weeks later, it was a Friday, I was going to play hooky that day and go to a movie at 4 o'clock. I wanted to see that new Kenny Lonergan movie. And literally, I got out of the subway. I'm still taking the subway, David.
Okay. You have bodyguards, though?
I don't have bodyguards, although I felt like I might need them after that Pence event. But in any event, I got out of the subway, and I got a phone call from my COO, and she said, "I need to tell you something. The Pence team is called, and he wants to go to the show tonight, and what should we do?" And you know what I said? Fuck. Like, I just didn't want to deal with it. I wanted to go to this movie. And so I said, well, we cannot deny this man a ticket. I'm not going to tell him it's sold out, because everybody knows we have tickets in our back pocket. Right. And I said, sell him the tickets. And then I thought, what am I going to say to my actors? How are they going to go on and perform for this man? Because we know what he embodies. And so I got to the movie theater, and I pulled out my iPhone, and I wrote that statement. And of course, it was 3 times as long. And I said, we're going to have to do this. And then I called Tommy, the director, and I was like, I know we're not going to do this, but let me just read this to you. I said, Pence is coming tonight. What are we going to do? I want to read you something. I know we're not going to do this. Tommy is the clear-headed one in our group. And I read him that statement, and he said, wow, let's get Lynn on the phone. And Lynn was in London making Mary Poppins 2 with Disney. So, but it was 5 hours ahead, and within 1 second, me and Lynn and Tommy are on the phone, and I'm standing at the Lincoln Plaza Cinema. And we read it to Lynn, and Lynn said, okay, let's start editing it. And then Lynn started adding and subtracting to it with his own rhetorical flair. And the 3 of us made a decision right then and there, we are going to do this statement tonight. Okay. And that's what happened, and I had no, and I knew it was going to, I said, yes, this is going to be the story if we do this on tomorrow, but it wasn't about getting a story. It was about us using this opportunity to say, look at us, we are here. Right? It was a form of active communication, maybe resistance.